Hey everyone, Ernest here. Hey, I've had a bunch of requests to show you how to use my Shift tool. So this simple VBA macro I wrote in Excel, works in Excel, in OpenOffice, in LibreOffice. Just make sure you enable VBA macros. The way it works is you copy paste. So in this case, we have some rails here. Want to modify them, you copy them, hit Control C to copy. You can just copy right from there, and then when you come into the editor here, you can paste it, and you notice here it's just plain text. It's encoded with the mathematical vectors and all the position coordinates that represent all these notes, but it's just plain text which we can manipulate. So what this tool does is it just does a mathematical perform on all the the vector coordinates in this. So you can shift it horizontal, you can shift it left, right. It goes by, the default is the number of grid squares, the default sizing. So if we wanted to shift this, 3 to the right, you come here, you'd hit Shift Notes, come down here, Control C to copy, come back, Control V to paste, and now we have shifted those first 2 rails that we had copied, boom, three grid squares to the right. Don't want to do that right now, so I'm going to hit Control Z to undo, which the first thing it undo is the delete, and I'm going to undo it again, and it's back. So we can do that. We can scale it. I set this up different for horizontal and vertical scale. So horizontal scale will make it wider, vertical scale will make it taller. If you want to make it wider and taller, do the same thing. Like if we, let's say for example, that's not big enough. We want to make it 130% that size. 130. Hit Shift Notes, Control C, come over here, Control V, and now you'll see. Oh, actually, we're still shifting horizontal. Don't want to do that. Shift Notes, Control C, Control V, and now we've made it bigger. So you notice that it just made it physically larger. I found that in particular is really useful for tweaking. Like you do a really complex shape on a map, and then you go play it. Like, man, that was fun, but it was a little bit too easy. You didn't have to move quite enough. You can just come in here, you can scale 10%, 20%, whatever size you want larger, make it that little bit harder, or vice versa, and scale in a little bit and make it a little bit easier. The other thing this will let you do, oops, shoot, didn't mean to Control Z that much. Well, is, actually I'm going to copy this back, is you can rotate it. So for instance, let's say I don't like this pattern. I want to move it a little bit. I could say I want to move it 30. The positive degrees are counterclockwise in here. So positive will go counterclockwise, negative will go clockwise. So if you type it in, it'll tell you if it's going clockwise or counterclockwise. In this case, we're going 30 degrees clockwise. So Shift Notes, copy, and paste. Boom. So now it's shifted everything around, and it's actually scaled it to 130%, which I did not want to do because, and I'm doing this too fast, trying to show you. But we just rotated it. Things like that. So BPM also is pretty powerful. So I created this mode first off so that we can work with multiple BPM maps that actually change bits per minute tempo as you move through the song. So what you could do in this case is you want to create 2 different maps, and do not create them in the default folder because Synth Riders will overwrite maps with the same name by default. So take that, copy paste it, move it into another folder, give it a different name. Recommend naming it after the BPM. And then you can map that BPM sections in there. So, for example, let's say that what was the 135 BPM map that I took this thing that I mapped at 135, and I want to paste it into another section of map, which is actually, I'll say 270 BPM. That it got twice as fast. So if I wanted to take this same piece and I wanted to keep the same tempo, lined it up with the same notes on 270 BPM, I would take this 135, tell the BPM, hit Shift Notes, and then I would go and open up the 270 BPM version of this map, line it up with a precise time code, because you see in this case the time code is 3 minutes 1 second, 0.444. You want to pull open that 270 BPM map, find that 64th note that aligns closest with 3 minutes 01444. You know, in which case it would be, you know, just for example, and then we come in here and paste it. You click V, and now we've pasted it in here. And if you notice this one, we go on, it, it's swirling. We're starting out here, and we're coming out, and basically every grid square we got to scroll. We come over here with 270 BPM. Didn't change much. Shift Notes. Because I pasted the wrong version. And now you see it stretched it out. It made it slower because this is a 135 BPM. If this is a 270 BPM, all these measures would be much closer together time-wise. But that is another tip you can do. If you did a spiral or something and it was just too fast, you can come in here. You can use that BPM fix and you can slow it down. In this case, I doubled the BPM. I slowed this spiral down by 50%. So it's stretching out farther, but it's a slower spiral. So you can use these. You can use it with wall art. One of the other things that I like to do is with wall art. So we'll zero all those changes out, and for example, just put a right angle. We'll take that right angle. We'll hold Alt. And why is this not rotating? Alt. And we'll take it and make that right angle. So, okay, so now we have that right angle. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Control C. Come in here, notes to be shifted. What does that? Notes to be shifted and paste it. And for the notes, we want to go at least 50 milliseconds between them. So this is walls default for Quest. At high mode, the lockout is 250 milliseconds. The lockout for max, which you should all set your walls out of max if you have an Oculus, is 50 milliseconds. So in this case, 950. So if I'm going a quarter step, that's going plenty far enough. So we can go an eighth step, and that's going to give us our 50 milliseconds. So okay, so we had this first one. We'll make a spiral pattern here. So we will rotate. We'll say we'll rotate 5 degrees. Will be a fairly small rotation. So 5 degrees counterclockwise. Hit Shift Notes, and we come here, Control C to copy. Go out at least 50 milliseconds, paste it, and then come back. And now that we see we got these two walls that are just rotated. Now we could keep going that wall by wall for as many as you want, but we could do them both at once. I'm going to hit Control C here, copy them both at the same time. And I'm hitting space and then backspace here to clear it out. In Excel, I usually just hit delete and that clears it out. Paste it. And now in this case, since we got 2 of them at the same time, we're going to rotate those 2 together 10 degrees, twice as much. Copy. So now we got both of them. And I'm going to go 1, 2 to the next open slot, hit paste. And now you see we have 4 of them, each rotating 5%. I'm going to copy all of those. Rotate them 20 degrees. Oh, because I need to actually paste that JSON in there. Oops. Yeah, minor errors here. Where are you going? And now now we can come to the next open, hit paste again, and now we got that, and so on. So other tricks, things I recommend as you go in here, like if you had this section, I'm going to Control C. So the lockout is only walls of the same type. So let's say we want to do a little more complex pattern. We'll go to the 16th, go right in the middle of there, and so Alt V will paste a mirror image, and in that case it overwrote it. So we're going to change that to prioritize pasted instead of delete range. Go back in there, Alt V, and now see we've got two sets. We've got the left rotating set and right rotating set, and we can continue that around as much as you wanted. We can take these things, we can make wings, we can do all sorts of transforms. You can use the shift horizontal. I find this is really powerful for working on wall art here in the middle where you can actually see it to work on it. And then once you have that done, you can use the horizontal vertical scale to blow it up. So we did this little spiral here. If we blow that up 300-400%, it would end up being, you know, out in the periphery where we can see it looking kind of cool out on the outside. If you're doing wall art of any sort, you know, tree, a house, letters, whatever, you work on them here and then use the horizontal and vertical shift to move them out to where you want to see them. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Hopefully that makes it easier to use this tool and you can do fun, cool things with it. And until next time.